Hi everybody, good evening. Welcome along to our Champions League coverage, post-match coverage for you now after the final whistle in the two round of 16 games.
Welcome.
Welcome. Welcome.
You've got to set the tone from the start.
Sorry, I'm doing my very best. I just wanted to also let people know what we're going to do. We're going to talk about the Champions League, the two round of 16 games that we just saw. We're going to talk Premier League.
Lovely.
We're going to talk Manchester City. We're going to talk Arsenal. We're going to show you the best of the action from the Premier League and break that down for you as well. We'll also preview tomorrow's Man U-Barcelona game. So we got a lot on the plate for you. Let's start off with Dortmund-Chelsea. Dortmund getting the 1-0 win at home at the Signal Iduna Park against the Blues. Your thoughts on the game, I guess?
I thought Chelsea did well in the first half. They tried in the second half also to come back into the game. But what a goal. I'm going to have to stay with that. I mean, we can talk about the opportunities, balls obviously saved on the line. But you're carrying the ball with your feet, obviously, full speed. You beat your man, composure to go around the keeper and finish. I think he will remember that goal for a long time. Hopefully, it will be a good one to go through. We still don't know, but 1-0 up.
I thought Fernandes did really well there. Sorry to cut in there, because you're showing you talk about being on your toes, and when you're in that position, it's stopped because the striker can go either way there. He has to turn and run towards goal. Whereas Adeyemi, like Thierry said, just that touch. Too many strikers nowadays, too many step-overs, trying to jink it and do this and that. But it was potent.
Yeah, fantastic.
To have that in your leg after, wow.
Speaking of celebrations, we can take a look at the celebration of the
chance.
It feels like all the other big chances in this game went to Chelsea. João Felix in the first half when he hit the bar, perhaps maybe...
He didn't deserve it. He really didn't.
I mean, we talked about him before the game, right? Overall, how would you rate the performance that he gave in Germany tonight?
Yeah, Chelsea have got to sign him ASAP. If there's one player that they should be looking at, and you want to talk about Chelsea signings, and I know they needed number 9, he's sort of playing in that number 10 role, but in terms of what he brings to this team, I think he's their best player.
They need him to stay.
ASAP, get it done.
OK. Reece James had a couple of opportunities as well. Free kick that got saved, Jamie.
Yeah, I mean...
Fernandes, he had a really good game again, I think. He'll be disappointed with, the goal, essentially. I just wanted to look at Kepa's positioning there, because he can only go one way. Could Kepa have been another yard out just to help him out on that side? But in terms of...
I mean, if you're looking at the stats from the second half, right, Chelsea had 16 shots to Dortmund's 3. Does that speak to what Micah and Jamie are saying about this still being a very open fixture and Chelsea having a good chance to go through still?
It'll give you hope, because Dortmund were not that dominant in terms of creating a lot of chances, so you would have hopes. But at the end of the day, you still didn't score. You need to find a way to score. Carragher is not really delivering. João Felix, unfortunately, just arrived also not putting the ball in the back of the net. So they're still looking for that guy that can deliver.
Who would you sign
goals.
for Chelsea as a number 9? They need a number 9.
Well, they went to get Lukaku. They thought it was going to be the answer. And in their eyes, it wasn't. In a lot of people's eyes. So...
But that was a different manager, do you think?
Yeah, no, I know.
Yeah, do you think...
Still, sorry to cut you, Jamie, but it's a lot of people are looking for a 9 that can score goals. So it's not an easy one. They thought they brought Aubameyang back. Yes, he was another manager, obviously, and it didn't happen. So maybe they heard about the rumours about Marcus Thuram at one point. They wanted him or whatever. Whoever it is. But they don't have it now. They don't have that 9 now that score goals. So they need to find a way to make sure they can put the ball in the back of the net, because they had a lot of chances tonight and they didn't. It will be different at the bridge. Let's all be honest. But you still need to put the ball in the back of the net.
Is that what you consider their biggest issue? Goal scoring?
Massive. And for the manager that they've got, they brought him in from Brighton, who had a huge problem with scoring goals as well. They played great football, but didn't have the quality in the final third. But you think of Chelsea, when you bring Graham Potter and you think, well, OK, can he get the team playing the way he did at Brighton? And he'll have the quality, he'll have the funds to go into the transfer market. But when you actually think of the money Chelsea have spent, not just in this window, in the August window as well, and to think you're playing a full season without a recognised top-quality centre-forward, it's just baffling when you think it's like 600 million being spent and you don't have someone at the top end of the pitch who can score a goal. Chelsea's massive problem this season has been scoring goals. I think they've scored just more than maybe a goal a game in the Premier League, and that's nowhere near enough for a club the size of Chelsea, but also the revenue that's being spent on that team. That's a massive problem.
Well, we'll bring you more on this game between Dortmund and Chelsea. The other game as well between Bruges and Benfica, which saw an away win for Benfica, but it was Karim Adeyemi making the difference for Dortmund. We'll talk Premier League as well after the break, so stay with us. Lots to come. Welcome back. Welcome back to our Champions League coverage. Nico Cantor was over in Germany in Dortmund for the game between Dortmund and Chelsea, and he's been speaking to Jude Bellingham.
Jude, congrats. Great team performance to grind out a win. How did it feel?
Yeah, it felt good. I think it's kind of a small win in comparison to the challenge that we've got facing us in a few weeks' time. You know, we've got to go to Stamford Bridge and get another positive result. So, yeah, we can be really pleased with how we played and especially how we defended in the second half. But we need to understand that it's not over and they can definitely come back with a lot of power.
Talk to me about the goal.
Just pace, when it was just I was surprised they left only one back, especially when they knew it was Karim that was going to be breaking. So he got the ball under control well, and yeah, he just used the attributes that we all know we've got, that we've seen in training from him. You know, we had a bit of a tough time first coming here, but now that he's adapted and he feels comfortable, you know, we know we can create moments like that, and that's why he's here.
In a foot race, who'd win? You or Karim?
Karim.
By how much?
Oh my God, about 30 yards, I think.
Yeah? That fast?
He's that fast, yeah. So I think you saw it there today. I think, you know, when he gets into his rhythm and his stride, I think he's quite unstoppable. So, yeah, top player.
What about going to London? A lot of people that know you well, I mean, probably going to show up to see you, and it's an atmosphere you might know. Yeah. Stamford Bridge, what's that going to be like for Dortmund?
Yeah, it'll be a brilliant experience for us. I think we all dream of playing in games like that where we go away to big teams and, you know, we try and get a positive result to see our team into the next round. So you've got to enjoy games like that. You can't shy away from it, and we'll definitely be up for it in the second leg.
Jude, talk to me a little bit about being a captain. Again, you might take it as something natural, but for us on the outside, your age, being a leader, it's quite a responsibility.
Yeah, I think, like you said, I think it comes quite naturally, but you know, for me, it's probably the biggest I know in my career so far as a captain of this football club. You know, I have brilliant role models like Marco and Mats, and I know how to kind of carry myself when I see them. You know, carry themselves so well. So I take a lot of examples from that, and you know, I know that without the captain's armband, I can still try and lead the team, and you know, this just kind of a bit more for show. But we need to all be captains in the second leg. It's important that we all show up and we all get the job done.
Jude, Jamie Carragher's listening in right now, so I need you to be my captain a little bit. And I know that you saw what went on yesterday's show.
And he's trying
me right to the camera.
When he's trying to get you to propose.
Oh my God, too much.
Jamie, do better. Not on Valentine's Day. Not when she's there. Come on. So yeah, I've got you back there. And you should have protected yourself a little bit more though.
I was trying to. I needed my shield.
Big names in the studio.
It's a lot.
Crumbled a bit.
I thought I handled it pretty well.
Yeah,
at
it was
least.
okay. It was okay, but yeah.
All right, Jude. Thanks a lot.
Take care.
Yeah, mate.
Nice evening.
Yeah.
Big names in the studio.
Hey, listen, I want that man in a red shirt, so I'm going to do whatever he tells me to do. So if Jude Bellingham has got any more advice than me, I'm taking it all day, my friend.
You know what? You sound quite desperate right now.
For Jude Bellingham?
Yeah.
I am. We are!
What did you think of the impact that he managed to make on the game?
He's a class act, isn't he? I mean, we've been talking about him for years now. I think when I mentioned that in his interview about, you know, the captain and everything like that, he's just class, whether he's in a defensive role, whether he's in an attacking role, his effect on the game, his game intelligence. He's just got it all. I think, you know, big things for his future ahead.
I mean, the thing I like from the interview, I mean, that's the only accent I've never heard you do.
A Brummie?
Yeah.
Why are you just
Come on!
Go on, you do all the different languages.
I just said I really like it. I find it very attractive, actually.
You like that?
I find it very attractive. I do. Don't mind me some Birmingham. We want to talk about Bruges, Benfica. Let's talk about this one. So, penalty incident, first of all, is the first thing we're going to show you because the first goal came for Benfica from the penalty.
Yeah, Thierry's watching this one.
It's going to be difficult for Bruges on, you know, tonight. As soon as Benfica go in front, you feel as if it's game over and tie over, really, and then they go on and get the second.
The second goal is shocking.
You saw it, did you?
Yeah, from Bruges, of course. I'm across everything. I'm across everything. Don't worry about big meeks. I see the second goal from a Bruges point of view is shocking. You're at the towards the.
Interesting that goal went in after full time in the Arsenal City game, isn't it?
Oh really?
Yeah.
Who was watching that?
A couple of people, I think.
Oh,
Really?
Interesting.
Were they not?
We're working Champions League, aren't we?
Champions League,
Not
isn't it?
Premier League.
Wow, the ease of the lies.
What?
Okay, noted. We're going to talk about the Premier League after, so it's a shame that neither of you were watching it because we're going to break it down in the next segment.
wow.
But it'll be
What
a
score was
surprise to
it?
you. You can roll with it as we go.
What score was it?
That's what good pundits do.
Wait and see, Jamie.
Okay.
It'll be a surprise for everybody. Yeah, I know. Looking forward to it. We'll talk about that. We'll break it down. We'll bring you highlights. Micah and Jamie will show you just how well they react on the spur of the moment. We'll be back in just a minute. Welcome along. Let's talk about the Premier League, because if you spent your afternoon or evening, wherever you are, depending, probably afternoon if you're in America, isn't it? If you spent it watching Rebecca Lowe, Timmy Howard, Robbie Earle, we're happy to have you with you. Kate Abdo, have you with us.
Oh, Jamie!
Wow.
Wow!
Anybody in America knows.
I'm talking what I'm saying is, so...
They do Premier League football in the States.
I know, so that's CBS's rival.
Yeah, but we're bigger than that. We're all right with that. They're friends of ours.
They pay your wages, do they?
Why do they pay my wages?
I know, so what are we giving them a big lift up for?
We're just saying hi. If you spent your afternoon,
Jamie,
the soccer community
watching us
understands
now.
if you spent your afternoon watching
little
them. Maybe
respect.
now you've switched over. Maybe now you're with us. It's Champions League. Welcome along.
I think you're looking for a transfer.
It's all one football family, isn't it?
You're looking for you're looking for a transfer.
How did you feel about the
City?
City?
Rebecca.
Pardon? No, you've got me. You don't have Rebecca.
Anywho.
Who would you rather have?
Wow.
Oh, big decision. Rebecca Lowe.
How long have we worked together now? You and me? 2 years?
Feels like
3
about
years?
10
Yeah, but to be honest, you're not very loyal.
Oh, wow.
You go to the World
If
Cup,
I'm being
you go
I've got
with
to
your
back
American
Jamie up on
team.
this one.
Yeah.
When I went
Pardon?
to the States, you act like you didn't even know me. I go to the World
Again.
Cup.
Yeah.
You ghosted me. Now
Okay,
you're
you know what?
And when it was
let's go back
Destination
to
Brooklyn,
this because I'm tired of this
Destination
narrative.
Brooklyn.
Tired of this narrative. When I was in Qatar, I met up with Mo, CBS family. Nico Cantor, CBS family. Pete Radovich, CBS family.
Okay, no.
Silvio.
What have they
You don't even know who's the Silvio who? Silvio who? Who's Silvio? She knows everyone from NBC. She knows everyone from NBC, but she doesn't know Silvio from
I'm
CBS.
blanking on his second name.
What have they all got in common?
Anyway, what they've all got in common.
They're American. This is precisely my point. Moving on.
Whatever.
Well, honestly.
Who enjoyed I'm so glad we're talking Premier League. Who enjoyed the Man City Arsenal game?
What
You seem to.
It was about 3-1, I think.
Was it?
Got on my notes, yeah, just in case. But yeah, it was a good game. I mean,
Nieva, Silvio Nieva just came back.
okay, let it go, please.
Silvio, honestly, I wouldn't accept that. She hasn't stopped talking about a fella called Matthew Barker for the last 2 months, and she doesn't even know Silvio. We all know Sil.
Lo siento mucho, Silvio. Perdóname. Go ahead. Man City.
I mean, it's just ridiculous. Can we move on, please?
You don't want to talk about Manchester City?
Yeah, it was a good game. I thought Arsenal coming into this game with no Thomas Partey was always going to be the difference, if I'm being totally honest. I want to show you the first goal, and he was on it today, and he was the difference.
Arsenal came back into it. Penalty incident for Arsenal, which I think everybody at the table thought was relatively soft.
This contact, and people are going to give a penalty for that, so it was a penalty.
Bukayo Saka, sorry, mixed up my vowels.
Do you need a minute?
Yeah, I do. He stepped up for the penalty
Rebecca Lowe
for
knows his
Arsenal.
name. Under pressure, Arsenal not had too many penalties this season, and when they got it back to 1-1, I did think we'd see a sort of better performance from Arsenal second half, and we never got that.
So then City then banged in a couple. Jack Grealish, first of all, to make it 2-1, Micah.
Yeah, and I was delighted for...
Fell out first and foremost on the penalty before that. But you lose the ball. I feel like teams that win titles cannot lose their control in any moment. Man City, and you asked questions at the beginning. I wished, I hoped that Arsenal could win the game. I said 2-1 for Arsenal. But when you look at it, City tonight showed you why they are champion so far, because nobody took that title yet. And I will add something also that I will say. since those, financial fine or not fine or whatever's going to happen to
accusation.
Whatever's going to happen to City.
Allegation.
I think that little thing did add something extra into City's mind in that dressing room.
I don't think it's little. I'd call it big.
No, yeah, it is, but it changed. It's
a siege mentality, isn't it?
It changed it because now Pep can say to everybody, they don't want us to win. Let's show them that we're still the champion. And the way they played tonight, they played as champions.
What was the big thing, sort of second half tier in terms of for Arsenal? Because what we talk about Manchester City, we've seen this for 4 or 5 years for Manchester City. Arsenal put themselves in a great position. What would your message to be? You've won titles at Arsenal. What would your message be if you're in that dressing room, you're in that training ground tomorrow, talking to that young squad of players?
It is. Look, I thought that we're going to go to the cup game. I thought the cup game was very, very significant because it does matter when you play against a team that you're fighting for the title. Now they came to your place and they beat you. Can you now show that you can respond? Because since the beginning of the season, City had to respond to what Arsenal was doing. Can you keep your composure, go at Villa and rectify that straight away at the weekend and show that you can be with them all the way and try to do something at their ground? Because now it's going to be very difficult. Man United are behind. I don't know if they can actually stay with City and Arsenal. Who knows? But just stay calm. You lost against a great team today that, as we mentioned, Foden comes on, Akanji comes on. Do you have the same bench at Arsenal? I'm not too sure also. But keep your composure. You lost that one. It doesn't mean that everything has to go now in the bin. Keep your composure, go, and try to rectify that straight away against Villa and see what you can do. You still have a game in hand. Yeah. Now it's going to be tough, though.
I think the big thing for Arsenal is not to, as Thierry said, is panic. The only way I've ever felt Arsenal could win the league, I don't know if you agree, Thierry, is on the fact that Manchester City are going to probably go to at least the semi-finals of the Champions League. You'd expect them to get to the FA Cup final or the semi-final. And just when it gets to sort of late March, the whole of April, there'll be so many games for City, and will Arsenal, even if they were level 2 points behind, could they then still come late?
You know what I was hoping for secretly? Because, I don't see straight when it comes to Arsenal. What I was hoping is that can we get a bigger gap before European competition comes? Even for us, we do have it also. So I wanted a bigger gap because of the depth of our squad before we go into Europe. Because City are used to play this type of games, this type of...
Do you think Arteta would go really strong, especially in these sort of early rounds of knockout stage in Europa League, considering where they are in the Premier League?
You're gonna have to at one point. You're gonna have to play who you have to play. You need also momentum, carry momentum. National teams are coming back, and I've been in that situation also. When you play all those games and you have to go in a national team also when everybody does rest, it takes something out of you. Do we have the depth of Arsenal? We don't have the depth of Man City. That is for sure. That's why.
So do you think they made a mistake not spending more money in January?
But who? It seems like they know that. Well, it doesn't seem like they go about their business a certain way. So I don't think they just buy player for the sake of buying player. Maybe they were targeting one that they couldn't get. I think they go with what they can target. If they can't get what they target, then obviously they went and get Jorginho. I don't think they wanted Jorginho right from the start. It happens. But I still think that we're short, but they don't go and just buy players for the sake of buying players.
Yeah, but Mudryk was the player that they wanted. It was just that they didn't offer him enough money.
Yeah, but that was a money thing, I guess.
Yeah, what I'm saying is, do you think that the board should have backed him? I don't see Arsenal being in this position next season, even if they go and buy 3 or 4 players. I mean, in terms of being 5 or 6 points clear at halfway stage.
That was a lot of money to go and buy Mudryk for that. Was he going to have an impact straight away on that team? They went for Trossard, that knows the league, that have been there for a long time, that can maybe adapt quicker and better. But I'm going back to, I wish we had more points. The Brentford game for me was massive also, But it was always going to happen. It's going to happen during a season where you're not going to win, maybe 2 to 3 games. How are we going to react to that? It's not how you fall, it's how you go back on your feet and you stand after that along the way. So hopefully we can do that, but City are used to play that type of role and that type of battle. Sorry. I was like, whoa, was that too long?
She's flustered again.
No, I was 3 times somebody was trying to say something to me, but it was 3 times the other producer spoke to me at the same time, and I couldn't hear anybody. So I was flustered, but I thought I was doing it off camera in secret.
No, but you did it straight away. But again, let's not go back. What Mikel Arteta, what Arsenal, what's been happening, let's not, because of what happened tonight, put everything away. Like, obviously, you're battling for the title. If at the end you don't win the title, it will be massive disappointment because you were for a long time there. But would it be a bad season? I don't think so, because it's a long time that I didn't hear the Emirates like that. You know, when I meet people in town, they're like, you know, it's good to talk about are we going to win the league instead of are we going to make the top 4. It's different. So let's not also throw everything away. Keep your composure and try to win at Villa game by game and see what's going to happen.
Well, listen, I very much enjoyed the Premier League chat. We've got more Champions League to wrap up for you as well. Karim Adeyemi, we're hoping to hear from him after the break. NBC, if you're listening, watching, I'm usually very smooth. It's been a little bit of a bumpy ride tonight, but after the way I've been treated, I'm available to hear offers. Everybody, good evening. Welcome along. It is that time of the evening that we start to look ahead a little bit at tomorrow. Europa League action, a big game as well. It's Barcelona against Manchester United. When we were talking earlier in the pre-game to this show, we kind of dubbed it the biggest game of the week, right? Regardless of Champions League, Europa League. That was Charlie's opinion. Is that something you guys would subscribe to?
I think the 2 biggest names, without a doubt, 2 of the biggest names in European football. Forget what tournament you're talking about. Historically, these are 2 of the biggest clubs in world football, and it is a huge standout tie. And also, yes, it's the Europa League, but they are probably 2 of the standout teams in Europe right now in terms of how they're playing. Barcelona top of their league, Manchester United not too far off the top of the Premier League. So it feels like a Champions League game. You know, that's how big it feels. So yeah, it's a huge game.
How impressed have you been with the way that Barcelona have grown throughout the season?
Xavi is doing an amazing job. I remember we were talking here about it when they went out. On the day, I thought they should have won against Bayern, in Bayern. You know, I don't think they were that bad against Bayern, but obviously you don't put the ball in the back of the net, then you end up being where they are right now. But what they're doing in the league is outstanding. And Guillaume was talking earlier on. I still, you know, want to see what they're going to do when it's going to be a transition game tomorrow, because they will be on the ball and Man United will counter. So I want to see how they're going to stop that. But Xavi is doing an outstanding job, and it took a little while to Pedri and Gavi to control that team. Dembele is coming along nicely, and then you have a guy that can set up goals or score, obviously Lewandowski. But what's impressive with that Barca side is they don't concede a lot. They really don't concede a lot.
There's a similar optimism around Old Trafford and Manchester United right now. How do you think they will go into this game, which is always a massive fixture, going to the Camp Nou and going to Barcelona?
I think it's an opportunity to prove themselves under a new manager. It took him time, because in the beginning, people were questioning his signings, Lisandro Martinez. I think Marcus Rashford is a player who's really come into his own, especially coming back from the World Cup. He feels empowered that this is his team to lead in the attack. Bruno Fernandes has a little bit more freedom. You don't have the weight of Cristiano Ronaldo in the team. I think Casemiro, bringing him in from Real Madrid and his experience winning, that culture within Manchester United is back to, at least heading back to the direction that it was once before, a team that's competing for trophies all the time. And a match against Barca, I think, puts them back into that stratosphere of, we can win the Premier League, we can win European competition. So this is a match, I think, for both sides, who are still, the coaches are still trying to cement themselves as the coach for the future.
Is there one team that you consider this more season-defining for, Barcelona or Manchester United, or can you not make that call?
Probably more Manchester United, just for the fact that I think Barcelona will be just thinking, we want to win La Liga. You know, realistically, Manchester United, I don't think will win the Premier League. They're in a lot of cup competitions, but one game in your house. You know, they've got a cup final in a couple of weeks. They're still in the FA Cup, but so are Manchester City. So I think for Manchester United and Ten Hag, in terms of getting his hands on a trophy and a top 4 position this season, that will be seen as a great great season. I think they're almost guaranteed top 4 now, the position that they find themselves in. But to pick one of those cup competitions up, I think would be a massive bonus. And I just think for Barcelona and Xavi, if they could take the league title away from Real Madrid, who are European champions, La Liga holders as well, I think that'll be huge. So for me, I just think it'll be slightly bigger for Man United.
We had you on in the pre-game, Charlie, and one of the segments that we had you involved in was talking about Gio Reyna. We kind of ran out of time in that conversation, but I think one of the places that we'd wanted to take that conversation, and it makes sense to use the time and take it there now, is kind of the current state of the US men's national team in the aftermath of the World Cup, the chaos that has happened within the locker room and between managerial lines. Where do you see this national team going into now, this March international break?
If I'm in the locker room, I'm thinking, who's leading us into 2026? It's a massive opportunity for the country to get to a semifinals. In order for this group to get to a World Cup semifinals, I think they've proven themselves that they have the quality against England in this World Cup. England, the top side. I think they outplayed England for most of that match. I think that gave the group more confidence going forward. But now, without a sporting director, without a general manager, without a coach, I think this group is waiting.
Is this not a failure in itself to find yourself at this point in 2023 when you know that you are hosting the World Cup in 2026?
Yes. I mean, let's call a spade a spade. I don't think anyone anticipated what happened between Greg Berhalter and Claudio Reyna.
You couldn't foresee that. Fair,
no one.
Fair. Yeah.
I think with this group, they need a coach, a manager who's going to come in, who's proven, who's won, who's had experience at the highest level, where these guys can't give anything but respect to the manager. And whatever he says goes. There's no back channel I can call somebody to connect with the coach and say, I want someone to play. It's none of that. It's the coach's way, and the players have to respect that.
Have you got a name in mind who you'd like to see?
I mean, if I'm looking at international coaches, Jogi Löw has always won, and he's done well with Germany. That's someone who's free. Jose Mourinho has been brought up quite a bit because he might be looking to go in a different, take a different venture on because he's done European football. But there's another man in this area who's done it. Thierry Henry. Someone who knows the American player. Thierry Henry played in MLS, coached in MLS, has been a part of Belgium in that national team setup with a successful team, a young team, the golden generation, which is, people will make those comparisons with this current U.S. men's national team group, a golden generation, if they are to fulfill their potential. That's a if. But they need a manager who's seen it, who's done it, who they respect. And I think that's what will take this group forward. I
mean, all good points from Charlie, and anybody who knows you knows how invested you are in coaching, how much you love coaching. Would you put your name in the hat?
Well, listen, would I put my name in the hat? First and foremost, that's a tricky one to talk about it here. What I can say is that, obviously, Roberto Martinez went to coach Portugal, and I'm not going with him. So, obviously, being a number 2 is no longer something that I would like to do. Massive respect for the boss.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, no, massive respect for the boss, and he gave me an opportunity when no one did. But I would like to have a crack again. You know, things happen, and we talked about it the other day. I don't know when it was, when I talked about how tough it was in Montreal because of COVID. And you will know we played every game away from home. Being in the camp for four months. I'm not talking about MLS's back. I'm talking about the after. That was tough. I will be honest. Yeah. Do I know the players? Yeah, I do know the players. Do I know the league? Yeah, I do know the league. Then it's a different ball game. I can't talk about it now like that. But would I want to be a manager at any level? Yes, of course. That's one of the things that I would like to do. But to go back to how the situation is with the new U.S. national team and U.S. in general, is that at one point, you know, what's the plan? What's the philosophy? What do you want to be? You know, when you ask yourself this question, you're going to find out eventually those answers. And it's not because you're going to host a competition that you're going to go far automatically. We've seen that it's not easy to do that with some big teams. Big teams cannot win it sometimes at home, and small teams don't often do well. I remember South Korea going to the semi-final, but it doesn't mean always you're going to do. I remember South Korea stopping their league, going into a camp for 8 months, to try to perform. And people were wondering why they were so fit, why they were running. I don't know if you remember that World Cup, Jamie, in 2002 when they went to the semi-final. So what's the plan? What's going to be the plan? You know, I'm not talking about me here. I'm talking about what the discussion is about the national team.
US soccer, come on. You know what you've got to do. Appoint the man. All you've got to do is stop the MLS for a couple of months. And he's in.
That's what I said. Jamie.
Come on, bring the man in. Get him in. He's a World Cup winner, European winner. He knows the league. The players respect him. Get him in.
With this project, though, World Cup, the biggest one yet, 48 teams across three countries, North America. Seeing what U.S. has achieved in this last World Cup, no experience at the international level, but getting to the knockout rounds. Do you think they have the potential to get to a semifinal if they're managed properly?
Potential, yeah. But what's the plan? That's what I'm saying. Remember that the World Cup is also in Mexico and Canada.
Yeah.
So you have two other teams that are going to be competing also to do well at home. And you know fully well that it's not easy to win in Mexico.
No.
Not easy to win with that Canadian team. So for me, it doesn't matter who you have. If you have a structure and if you go with what you go with right from the start, and the baby is not the baby of the coach, is the baby of everybody. If you go in that direction and that path, you can be successful. Look at Morocco. They believed in something as a team. Obviously, France stopped them in the semi-final. But, you know, sky is the limit.
We've got a minute. We can talk about this one. 2026, the World Cup. We are going to... Charlie, it was good to have you here, man.
Good to be here.
Love you.
Silvio?
Oh, yeah, I thought you didn't know Charlie. Is Charlie staying with us? OK, we've got one more part.
Sounds like CBS needs a new pundit.
Why?
No.
Sorry, we've got to go to a break.
No, I mean, he's going to be the year.
We're going to be right back.
Oh, you thought you were in?
Welcome back, everybody. We are back from the break. Let's take you out to Dortmund, where Nico Cantor has been for us all evening. We've been watching you all night long, Nico. We want to share it with the viewers. Why not? Let's take a look.
Okay.
So, Nico, what is that? Is that pizza? I can't tell.
Oh, wow.
Okay.
Ball on your head,
Here we
Nico,
go.
right now. Ball is on your head. Oh, the kiss. You didn't bring it back. You didn't bring it back.
Bratwurst. Been a busy evening for you, Nico.
There you go.
Was it Flammkuchen was the first thing, or what was the first thing?
Flammkuchen. I don't know if I ate Flammkuchen, but it was definitely something here at the stadium. But it was quite enjoyable. I got my bratwurst. I wanted it from the moment I stepped onto this pitch, and I got it. And we got a Borussia Dortmund goal with the yellow wall. Nobody's there anymore, but I can still hear them singing. Unbelievable.
Cool. How's your week on the road been? You've done the San Siro, you've done the Signal Iduna Park. What's the experience been like?
Golazo show next. Yeah, it's been unbelievable. I mean, iconic stadiums. I'm thinking about San Siro, that potentially they're tearing it down soon. Milan and Inter are leaving from there, and I'm privileged that I get to see that stadium in the flesh, and then here as well. Incredible, honestly.
So you're flying back tomorrow morning for the Golazo show. The obvious game that you'll be looking forward to is the Barcelona-Manchester United game, am I right?
Yeah, absolutely. And Barcelona as well. In fact, last year, a year ago, they started hitting a stride under Xavi as well. And their downfall was against Eintracht Frankfurt. It kind of just a nosedive, and that was a changing point in their season too. If you're Barcelona, look, I know you want to win La Liga, but you got to win everything you play in too.
Nico, my love, thank you so much. We got to go. You all right?
Bye, go. I can hear the time.
All right, we're off. Thank you so much for Thierry, Jamie, Big Meeks, and myself. Good night. Have a good one, everyone.